In this video, I'll show you the entire process of installing a subway tile backsplash. We'll cover all of the tools and supplies you may need, as well as detailed instructions for each part of the job. And to see other DIY videos for around the home, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and comment below if you have any questions, and thanks for watching. To find out how much tile you'll need, measure each wall that you're going to tile and get the total linear feet. And you'll get the square footage by multiplying the total width by the height. And then add about 10% for waste. I'm using the basic 3x5 white ceramic subway tile that you can find at Lowe's or Home Depot, and they're about 15 cents a piece. And 8 tiles makes 1 square foot. This tile is super easy to cut and install and has built-in spacers. And I'm using a matching bullnose piece for the ends. This tile has very small grout lines, so you'll need an unsanded grout. And I always use this pre-mixed tile adhesive for backsplashes. I'm using a 3/16 square notch trowel, but a V-notch can work too, because the square notch in this size are a little harder to find at Lowe's and Home Depot, but I'll put a link in the description with every tool and product that I use in this video. When you tile around an outlet, you need to slip on a box extender to keep the live wire safely inside the box. Turn the power off to the outlet and check to make sure it's off. The tile will fit behind the ear tabs of the outlet. The extender slides over the outlet and into the box. Make a line flush with the upper cabinet and mark the center. Then mark the center of the bullnose tile. To keep the bullnose pieces symmetrical, I use a full piece in the center. Mark the bottom piece upside down so your cut will be facing down. I'm using a wet saw, but a cheaper snap tile cutter will work also. This is one of the easiest tiles to cut. And I'm also cutting a few tiles in half to start the subway pattern. Painter's tape can be added to help keep the wall clean. Work in small areas so that your adhesive doesn't dry out. Now try to keep the adhesive lines horizontal and smooth so the air can escape from behind the tile when you press on it. This prevents air pockets that keep the tile from contacting the adhesive. Now this is very important when you're working with floor tile, but not so much when you're working with a backsplash. This tile is very light and it's not going to have any problem sticking and staying on the wall. So don't stress, it doesn't have to be perfect, just do your best. When you have long open runs, you can lay pretty fast, so you'll be able to do larger sections at a time. Mark the tile even with the outlet box, making sure you don't cover the screw hole where the outlet attaches. Center cuts are a little more challenging, but they're not too bad. I mark the cut with a washable marker. I'll show you two different ways to make a center cutout. With the first method, I cut the top line first with the grinder. If the sides were already cut with a cutout this deep, the grinder would break it in half every time. Then I cut the sides with the wet saw. The second method, I use the wet saw only. Make several cuts to the line. Gently break the pieces off and then clean up your cut with the saw. To finish this gap between the window and the cabinet, I'll add a bullnose piece so there's a nice finished edge. There are different ways to tile across the gap like you'll find behind a range. This is how I do it. I take 2 scrap pieces of wood and I cut one to fit between the 2 countertops. Then I screw a longer board slightly offset to allow the tile to sit onto the lower board. And I find this much easier than trying to keep the tiles on a line or screwing a board to the wall. In areas where it's difficult to apply the adhesive to the wall without making a mess, you can apply the adhesive directly to the back of the tile. Now this method is a lot slower, but it's easier and it's a lot less messy. Mix the grout following the directions on the back. A lot of brands are different, but start with small amounts. If you mix it all at once, it will dry out in the bucket before you get to use it. Using a grout float, fill all of the grout lines working from the top down and then remove the excess grout. After about 10 or 15 minutes, use a damp sponge to lightly wipe the remaining excess grout without pressing too hard. Now keep the sponge flat so that it doesn't remove any of the grout from the grout lines. This isn't a final clean and it doesn't have to be perfect. When the grout is completely dry, wipe the remaining grout haze with a clean, dry cloth. You can use painter's tape to make a perfect caulk line. Use a matching grout caulk and caulk along the countertop and between the tile and the upper cabinets. Some grouts require a sealant, so if yours does, you can buy a wipe-on or an aerosol grout sealer. You just spray it on and wipe off the excess. It's very simple to use. Don't forget to hit the like button if this video helped you. Subscribe to my channel and find other DIY videos for your home, and thanks for watching.